Hello and welcome back again. Hello, Marty.
Hello, Christy.
Welcome back to No One is Perfect. Now, today we're going to talk about one of the hardest truths that we face in relationships, which is betrayal.
Mhm.
And it doesn't always have to look like big dramatic moments that we see in movies. Betrayal can be really, really subtle. And when loyalty is broken through silence or neglect or dishonesty or gossip, even when someone simply stops showing up in our
Mm,
in our lives, that can be a betrayal. It can also live in the way we betray ourselves, because it isn't just about other people. We're not solely victim to this. We, and I speak for myself too, there's many ways, and we can talk about this, that I know I consciously am betraying myself, and what that does to my nervous system, what it does to my health. And some of those ways, like staying quiet, ignoring needs,
right.
pretending that everything's fine when it isn't, that is its own form of betrayal.
Hmm.
And I think that we need to talk about all the aspects of the betrayal, because sometimes it's so easy to get caught on a loop of, and I also think we can create what we believe. I always get betrayed, like that kind of
Oh,
statement.
yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
betrays me. That's true.
Yeah.
And so as you listen to this, be open to the different ways that you might betray yourself,
Hmm.
that you might betray those you love by not
Yeah.
speaking up. And then we'll talk about different ways that we've all been betrayed, because everyone, that's part of
Yeah.
being human, and the emotional fitness part of coming out of that. And I
Yeah.
love that term because it's so simple to
It's,
understand, and it takes a while to become fit.
it does. It does. And speaking of that, I look at it too, like betrayal's been a big part of my life. And I was working with a client earlier today that it's the theme. And I said, oh, it's similar. And I do think, I mean, this is Marty Murphy's personal opinion. So just know that. I think we come in with soul curriculums.
Mhm.
And that for me, I think betrayal's been a big part of my soul curriculum. That where you're like, I was so loyal to that person, and then they did this. And to notice, like you said, to be aware of like, is that the violin I've been playing forever? I do think there's patterns that get put in place in us in childhood that we're playing out to heal. And if we look at it that way, oh, here's my betrayal pattern again. Like, I think they're always going to, like, betrayal's probably always going to be a part of my life. But if I know that and go, oh, there's my betrayal pattern again, rather than like everyone always betrays me. And I think that's a kind of a little nuance in a way to look at it. Um, and I think about for me a few betrayals that I had. One was with a mentor, and one was with someone that, we were very good friends. We talked to each other like every day, Monday through Friday for years. And then I remember like finding out about the betrayal and being like, what? Like I couldn't even talk to the person for a while.
Mm.
I had to play it off like I'm dealing with anxiety and I need this space because I really needed time to work it out. And I think I'm someone that's always willing to work things out, but I got to be met in the middle somewhere. And for me, my deal breaker is I'll meet you in the middle because I mess up. I want
Yeah.
to be forgiven. I want a chance to do-overs because I mess up. But like for me, my deal breaker is like, well, I can't talk about it ever again. Then I'm like, well, I can't work with that. A trust has to
Yeah.
be rebuilt. And I think it's good to know within ourselves too, like where are your deal breakers too? Like,
Mm.
and your whole piece of betraying yourself, I think it's so, especially in women, I'm going to say we're trained to like be nice, be pleasing, be kind, to not, you know, um, be sweet and and to be like,
Oh,
no, I've got to speak my truth here. And
yeah.
that's been such a practice for me too, believe it or not, growing up where I was constantly shut down to like, yeah, it's probably going to cause World War III, but I'm still going to speak it anyway. And just learning that.
And when you speak that, I you It does get messy, and that's why we have that in the podcast. But there was a something that happened a little while ago where I had said something and it was like starting a forest fire. And it was such an interesting piece because I would say for me, betrayal, some of the subtle betrayals that I've had are me withholding what I think or feel
Mm,
with certain people that tend to be a lot more overbearing and aggressive. Like my tendency will just be to not speak. And something in me did, which created a forest fire, which I don't think was bad
right.
because I didn't betray myself again and not speak up.
Yeah.
And
That's
I,
huge.
it
It's
is.
huge.
And that emotional fitness piece, Marty, after the fire started to settle, and I didn't beg for forgiveness, which was also good. I apologized because it merited an apology. And like, I didn't feel guilty. I
Right?
just said, I overreacted. I'm sorry, period. And
Yeah.
for me, I realized that that helped my emotional fitness so much because I didn't let it consume me. And Carolyn Mace always is talking about where are you hemorrhaging
Ugh,
energetically? Because when we hemorrhage energetically, we get sick.
yeah.
And I know that for me to not betray myself in that, my body stays healthier, my immune system, I don't get as sick if I'm really not betraying what is going on internally because we
Yeah.
are our internal system and what's going on in our head and our nervous system. We need to pay attention to that
Yeah.
so we can work with it when there's a betrayal, whether that be a 10 or a 2. How can we work with it in a different way so it doesn't it doesn't consume us like a wildfire?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's such a great point, Chrissy. Like that's been a big thing for me too. Is like, wow, I just took care of myself there and I didn't feel the guilt. Wow.
Yeah.
Or the you just said sorry. And this is the part that struck me about that. You didn't feel the need to explain yourself.
Yes,
It's like
big one.
it's huge. And then you are like, wait, who who just who just did that?
That's exactly what I'm like. Who was that? Who was
Right?
that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It's
And
huge.
it is huge. And I think that betrayal, like when there's a big betrayal, because those happen too,
Yes, they
that
do.
sometimes it takes, I know for me in the different relationships that I've consciously stepped out of because I felt betrayed, especially if they were like an intimate, I mean, a deep friendship.
Those are
Sometimes
harder, I
takes me a
think.
year or two, Marty, to not have the charge when I think about it
Hmm. Oh yeah.
because it takes talking to someone and processing it through, looking at my part, looking at what they did. Sometimes it's a year or two, and some are easier than others, but I
Hmm.
think that's pretty realistic, don't you?
Oh my God. I remember with one of my, like, call it bigger betrayals. I'd tell you it's probably a 3 year process. I mean, was it moving in the right direction? Absolutely. But it, like, I'd had, like in EFT, we talk about the different aspects, like, oh, there's a rattlesnake. Well, the rattle's an aspect, the tongue is an aspect, the skin is an aspect, the slithering is an aspect. So there's all these different aspects that we have in betrayals and things like that. And like something new would come up, and I'm like, oh, and then I'd tap through it. And I mean, I was raw about it for a
Yeah.
while. And I'd say shocked and disappointed and, just like, what happened and how'd that happen? And then that whole, and I always tell people, I think it's important to throw an epic pity party for yourself at
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Like, get the party hats, get the balloons, rock the pity party, but tap through it. It's like you gotta like allow that, like, feeling sorry for yourself. It's like let yourself feel sorry
Yeah.
for yourself. Because as a kid, I'm sure that's like, I'll give you something to cry about, or like
Mm.
you're just cut off at the kneecaps. And that's why I'm like, rock the pity party. Don't intend to stay there. But when
Yeah.
you rock it and express it and do that in that safe and healthy way that you can with a practitioner or whatever, tap through it, move the body for it, do the work with you with it, then you're actually truly releasing it. And
Yeah.
then again, it comes back to like forgiveness just comes. It's not something you have to try to do. It's like, I feel really sorry for myself. That's
Yeah.
okay. Why wouldn't you? But then we're told, like, don't feel sorry for yourself. Oh, please stick a fork in me. I'm so done.
Well, Marty, I think with our language too, if we can listen to how we speak about that, like when people say, and I've certainly said it, I broke down.
Mm.
And that's what you're talking about is a pity party. I broke down and I cried and I was so mad and blah, blah, blah. Marianne Williamson in the Course of Miracles talks about a breakdown is really a breakthrough,
Oh, totally.
because when loyalty or trust is broken, what it teaches us after the fact of that emotional discharge by having a pity party, by allowing the tears and allowing the rage, what I find that it really helps me do is it helps me see where my boundaries need to be more clear, because if they weren't clear, I wouldn't be so pissed off and I
Right.
wouldn't feel so hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just, it's so true. And I think, just learning that all those things are there to help us and teach us something. And like every aspect of it really is to be honored. That's why I personally love tapping, because we would encourage you to go into it, go deeper into it and tap through it, because that's what helps it release. I mean, I remember as a kid feeling sorry for yourself. And then you're like, God, I'm not even allowed to feel bad for myself.
Yeah. Which is
Instead,
another form of gaslighting
right.
that all parents probably do to a
Yeah,
degree, because you get, I don't want to blame parents, but
I do.
the pattern of parenting in the past is exactly what you said. If
Yeah.
you're going to do that, I don't want to be around you,
Yeah. Right.
which may
That's,
be feeling sorry for yourself.
yeah, you're not allowed it. Yeah, I've practiced that with my daughter for a long time. Like, Bailey, the most important thing is let yourself feel what you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I did. And I was like, oh, I got that part. Like, that was good.
It matters.
Yeah. Just to be, yeah, it's just let yourself have that expression. And
Yeah.
that's when I found tapping. I just found it at the perfect time because, like I said, I was like, oh, I'm allowed to feel whatever I'm feeling, but now there's a way to feel it and move through it. And,
Yeah.
we were talking about the betrayal thing too. I mean, Chris, that those people, like, they're dragging that ball and chain a
Yeah.
betrayal through decades.
Yeah.
That's why I really tend to be someone after a while I'm like, I'm tired of this. Can we like try and work this out? Like it used to be 3 days for me. It's maybe 3 minutes now, like 30
Mm.
minutes. I'm just like, I don't want to drag this around. And I see it with like a neighbor of ours where I was like, wow, this guy is just he's this is it has just something to do with happen in the neighborhood, and it's like, dude, like you're gonna drag that into the like 25th century. It's like, or 20, it's like put it down. But
Yeah.
that's his journey. I mean, I see that too, and I'm like, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about like I think of two people in particular where there were pretty significant betrayals for me. And like I said, both of them it took me time to work through it and I've had to honor it. And I have moments that there might be something that comes up, but now I can talk about both of them in different ways and like, oh, whatever. But it was like I think the big key is I just honored how devastated
Mm.
I was at first. And then when I've heard occasionally something about one person, I'm like, they're still talking to me about me. Like, don't they want to like move on? Like, turn the
Oh,
page. You
yeah.
know, that kind of thing. I'm like, that's weighting you down.
Mhm. And it literally is an energetic weight. And there again, that is what affects our immune system. It's what affects our internal, like our blood pressure, our thyroid, all of our internal intelligence. When we continue to hold on to something that happened 10, 20 years ago, even when we think about it, and there's a lot of research to back this up, the system goes right back to where that
Yeah,
was. And
right.
all of those hormones get flooded in and come back. So if that's you, because it can be really easy to do that if you're not aware that that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I guess that my question is, how do you know when you're done? Like there has to be a decision point at some place to go, okay, I've given this person way too much of my energy and time in my brain, let alone my body. Some of the some of the things for me when I know I'm done is when I realize that I'm fatigued from even thinking about it, letting alone if I'm continually talking to someone about it and I'm boring myself, but I can't
Yeah.
stop talking about it. To me, that's also an indication of, okay, I need to slow down out of the activation and step back.
And I would say, go ahead and talk about it. Just tap while you're doing it. Just
Good
tap.
point.
Just rant away. If you need to do it for 3 freaking years, rant away. But like the key to me would be tapping to help move through it. The way I know that someone's done with it is you they can talk about it, but the emotional charge is gone. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it sucked, it happened, but it's like meh. Like I could tell you different stories in for instance of these two particular betrayals, there were multiple stories. And I could tell you stories now and I'm like, meh. Yeah, it sucked at the time, but now
Yeah.
whatever. I don't wish ill will to I don't wish ill will to them. I don't at all. I don't. I'm more like, no, I hope they find everything they want in life. I hope things are going well for them. That's also how I know
Yeah.
that I'm through it because it's like, because I used to have to entertain my revenge fantasies. Like, if you don't know, I was like, I'm just going to entertain them and I'm going to tap through them and I'm just going to keep thinking about the revenge fantasies. I'm going to go. And I just had to engulf myself in those.
Yeah.
But the key was I tapped through them. And now I even think about it. I'm like, I don't even care about that now. Like, I don't even have to entertain a revenge fantasy. But it took time.
Yeah.
I think of one in particular, 3 years. And I was
Yeah.
tapping, but it was like there was just so much like the time travel back into my past that it was
Mhm.
bringing forward all that stuff from childhood. So you're not just working on what's there, you're working on all the backlog.
Yeah.
Everything that's because in tapping we say memories that have a similar emotional charge get linked in the brain.
Mhm.
So, like, you can start tapping, and when somebody taps, they're like, well, I just started thinking about this memory from back then. It's linked.
Yeah.
And as you start to unlink those, then it releases. And then it's like, oh, okay. That's why you can go into memory and be like, meh. Yeah.
It's such a good day when that happens.
It is. It's those stolen moments. You're like,
Yeah. And I believe that the more that we step into that, people, you can call it the sovereign, you can call it the adult, that you have your own back literally, and allowing the space for ranting, for tapping, for revenge fantasies. All of that is the process of letting go. I don't
yeah,
think anyone, I think the new age movement, Jeff Brown says it best, the new cage
I
movement.
love that term.
I do too, because people will gaslight themselves, let alone have other people gaslight. If you say, I was betrayed or I feel this way, and then someone says, well, life happens for you and they're here to reflect back. I'm like, oh, just stop right now.
Yeah, toxic positivity, I think.
Yeah. And that your process is personal.
Yeah.
And whatever time that is, just have an intention to continue to move forward.
Yeah.
but it's personal. And
Right.
because your experience and whatever you had growing up and into
Yeah.
adult relationships, everyone's so different.
It is. It is. And and Christy, I am so glad that I woke up from the nightmare of the new cage movement that like I do believe thoughts are things. I do.
I do too. They totally are.
And and I still think there are so many nuances like we have a soul curriculum. There's things
Yes.
that happen in our life like they say, this is happening to awaken us. It's getting us in touch and that's the messy part of it. And I
Yeah,
think the more we resist the mess, the harder it gets. It's
totally.
even the big thing I always see in the tapping world, like how much do you think you're judging yourself for feeling this way? Oh, I mean, not at all. And then you're like, oh, I'm judging the heck out of myself.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's like we can't change what we judge. So it's like there, I just feel so betrayed. I feel so wounded. I feel so hurt. And to honor that and allow it. And there's I had a client years ago who had a do tell and a don't tell list, and I love that. He's like,
Hmm.
well, I don't tell those people that because they'll like be like, oh, well, if you just think differently about it or speak
Yeah.
quickly over your life, like that's my don't tell list. I don't want to hear the rhetoric of the little nifty slogans about how it's like the rubber meets the road. I'm in the thick of it, tapping through this muck.
Yeah.
And that takes courage. It takes courage
Yes.
to go into that and be like, but knowing to me that the beauty of tapping is I completely know and understand about it. It's going to release. It's going to release
It
from
does. Yeah. And I like to think of that again as reparenting yourself, that
100%.
you can let the child have a tantrum. You can let him say, I hate you for blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
then the charge can move, but you might have to do it 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as we do a little bit of tapping today, whatever you decide to do it on, Marty, with the betrayal and loyalty, I would invite listeners to be curious about how they betray themselves and who has betrayed them, whichever one comes to mind while we tap.
Yeah.
And if you can, as we go into the tapping, to really settle in and feel your hips in your chair, feel your breath before you start tapping with us. Just come sit in your body, literally, because this is where all the chaos is happening.
Yes.
And as we can slow down the chaos, your body is healthier.
Right.
Your nervous system can heal because we're meant to heal as we
Yeah.
make room for that space.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can tell a quick story, this is years ago. I was down in El Paso and a friend of mine and we went to Juarez and at the time I was on birth control pills. Well, you can get them for like $3 a pack down there as opposed to 50 here. So we
Yeah.
went over there and I bought like a year's worth of packs and we're walking through customs to come back in the United States. And my friend's like, just don't claim anything. Just like, I literally was like, don't claim anything. Like that whole, like, I've got to be straightforward. So they asked me, do you have anything to claim? And I go, no.
Oh, so they knew you weren't telling the truth.
Come with us. I got pulled into that, customs in Mexico. And it was so funny. I'm sitting there with these agents and they're like, why'd you lie? And I go, and I literally said, because I'm a dumbass. And I chose to listen to my friend who told me not to claim it. And like I kept saying that. And after a while, they're like, there's no way this chick was going over there to sell that stuff. She just didn't trust herself.
Yeah.
And then my friend walks in and I go, "You get out of here. Get away from me." And she's like, "Okay." And like that was so clear to me. Christy, she said that, but I didn't trust myself.
Yeah.
Go, no, I'm going to claim it. So I remember one time coming back from the Netherlands and I'd been on a farm, and they're like, have you been on a farm? A lot of people would be like, no. I go, oh, heck yeah. I've been on a farm and here's the shoes. I was on the farm and blah, blah, blah. I didn't care how long it took.
Right.
It's like, I've got, that's how I betrayed myself, was like,
Yeah.
I've done that so much in my life when I take someone's advice, but I have that inner feeling like, no, that's not right for me.
Hmm.
And
It
that's
matters.
like, that's my inner betrayal. And yeah, it's taken a few of those hits where I'm like,
I'm a terrible liar at customs
oh,
too.
I'm
If I even try, I'm
terrible.
like, I
I,
that's
I
funny. I can so relate to that, Marty.
literally, I was like, no. They're just like, she's riddled with guilt. She probably has like pounds of cocaine in her
Bring her
bag.
back, boys. And then you probably didn't stop talking, and they're like, okay, she's good.
Yeah, they're just like, God. And then when she walks in, I'm like, you get out of here. And they're like, oh my God, let her
Oh,
go.
it's a
She's so
great
mad at
story.
herself. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good example.
Right. So yeah, so let's tap. So we'll start here. Karate chop, even though betrayal. Oh, even that word betrayal, it conjures up so much. I've been betrayed by others, and I've betrayed my own truth. I choose to acknowledge all of this now. Even though betrayal, that hits below the belt, there's so much that gets attached to that. What if I could make it okay to throw a pity party for myself and not make myself wrong? Even though betrayal, I feel sorry for myself. I choose to acknowledge this truth right now. This betrayal, it hurts so deeply when someone I've trusted has betrayed me. It makes me think, who are you? Did I ever really know you at all?
Mhm.
It really can rock one's world. Trust is broken, and all these feelings from the past flood my nervous system. And what if I could think about honoring that? Not trying not to feel that way. Actually, do the opposite. But tap while I do it.
Mhm.
Go into all those feelings in a much deeper way and get proper support where needed. And what if by doing that, that's reparenting myself, reparenting that wounded child in me who feels sorry for themselves, and let them have that. What if this has happened to help me heal that child in me who never got to feel sorry for themselves, deeply hurt?
Mhm.
So I had to bury it. And now I'm going to practice letting that unearth. so that it can come up to move out of my nervous system. And what if I can remind myself always it's a journey
Mm.
and everyone's journey is their own. And everyone's timeline is their own. So, no sense in comparing. Just learning to trust that my journey is mine.
Mm.
And that in itself can make all the difference.
Hmm. Yeah, I noticed even with some of that tapping, I could feel threads going back to certain memories. So
Mm-hmm.
that was really helpful and um, such a reminder that it is a journey. And I believe we're exactly where we should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And relationships are here to teach us. And that soul blueprint,
Yeah.
if we can look at it from that meta level, from a higher perspective, that we
Yeah.
are capable to
Yes.
learn, we are capable to become more emotionally fit,
Yeah.
we are capable to stop betraying ourselves, we're doing pretty dang good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fantastic, Marty.
Yeah. And it's such a huge awareness, Christy.
Yeah.
Like I would say that's what struck home with me, like being pulled into customs in Mexico. I was
Oh.
like, I don't want this stuff to happen to me again. Like, but
Mhm.
it was so clear. I was definitely mad at my friend, but I was like, I was really, truly mad at myself for not trusting myself.
Yeah.
And then to be like, of course you don't trust yourself. Like to have finally find compassion. Of course you don't trust yourself. You weren't trained to trust yourself. You were
No.
trained to default to everyone else.
Mhm.
So to start to have compassion for that part that we tend to want to beat up.
Well, I think that's the first step because we can't give what we don't have.
No.
And if we want compassion, we certainly need to give it to ourselves so we can give it.
Yes.
And I loved what you said too, Marty, about, you know, giving, hoping other people will also forgive you and forgive me because we all screw up, we
Yeah.
all betray.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But I think for the most part, people are doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And what matters is we ourselves, you, the listeners, as we offer that self compassion, it's
Yeah.
going to replicate to other
Yeah.
people. And then we don't contribute to so much of the chaos and hatred that is everywhere
Totally agree.
because
Totally
that's what
agree.
makes us sick.
Yep.
What makes us sick. And it is not worth that to become sick because of betrayal or hatred.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
still have to work on it.
Oh yeah.
That's not a mental
Yeah.
thing.
Oh
It,
yeah.
it's looking and excavating your own self to see where
Right.
you betray, where you've betrayed.
Thus, like in revenge fantasies. Oh my God, I'm going to go down that rabbit hole and I'm just going to picture it and I'm going to relish it. And then it's going to move on. And then like
Yep.
I said, there's nothing wrong with the feelings or even the thoughts. It's the actions that come from the suppression that cause
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah. That is the biggest piece. So
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Marty. And thank
Thanks,
you
Christy.
everyone for listening. This was a great one. It's a one that happens.
Yes.
It just does because life is that.
Yes. Life is
And
messy.
yeah. So please like and subscribe. Please share the podcast with people that might benefit. We always love new ideas coming to the podcast as well for anything that you would like to talk about. We're always open to that. So thank you for joining us today. And Marty, I will see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye, everyone.